Welcome. This is Impact 2021. I am Nathaniel, and this is our continuing conversation that we have where we talk about just different issues from all over the place, whether it be race, religion, current events, um, and different just topics of conversation. This is a conversation. Type your questions into the comment section and they will be addressed. If you've seen the show before, or if this is your first time, what happens is people will type their comments in and we're able to bring them up on the screen and we're able to address them as they come up. And so, again, please feel free to type your questions and comment into the comment section. Um, this this day is a little bit different. Normally we'll have a guest and we'll go through some topics. Not really going to don't have a guest today, and we're not really going to go through the topic in a traditional manner, other than we're just going to hit on just one little quick thing as we come towards the end of the year, and as we come towards the end of the year, and a year where we've had some challenges, and so just to recap, in 2020, that was as we'll call it the Black Lives Matter year, and where we had some movement. George Floyd situation, Breonna Taylor situation. I know we've said these names numerous times, and we had protests. We had some awakening, as they called it, in different communities about how people of color were being treated, how people of color were being treated by police and police interactions, and just in general how race relations were a topic here in the United States. And then 2021, I will call the pushback. And so this year, 2021, is kind of a pushback where the topic changed from an awakening and understanding of what is going on with people of color, and then it becomes a pushback of, hey, we gave up a little too much ground, in the sense of, let's not concentrate so much on race. Let's not concentrate on who's being hurt by race, and let's make sure that we're not overreacting, or we push back. And so that's when we went through topics this year, such as CRT, critical race theory, and the push back on that. When we looked at topics of making sure that people didn't feel uncomfortable in race conversations. And so you had a group of folk who said, look, we don't want to make people feel bad. We're talking about slavery specifically. We don't want to make, you didn't want to make some black people feel bad, so we don't want to talk about slavery. Or you didn't want to make white people feel bad and guilty, so you don't want to talk about slavery. And so you had that pushback. You really had a significant pushback when you get into the whole political realm and arena, where they used the schools to really push back and say, well, we kind of went too far on this recognition of race. And so the schools were used as a tool in order to push back against what the advances have made of 2020. So 2021 was the pushback and the reaction, the pendulum swinging back the other way from what happened in 2020. And so now, as we close out the year, we come to a situation of where we are now. Where we are now is we've had the trial of Derek Chauvin, the police officer who killed George Floyd, and he was found guilty. You had the trial of Ahmaud Arbery's killers, and the young gentleman who was running in Georgia, and then was basically hunted down and killed by some people calling themselves doing a citizen's arrest, and they were found guilty. And you find those situations, and so now the trials are going on. And as much as you've had those, you've still had some others with some little differing results. You had Kyle Rittenhouse, the gentleman who murdered some other people during a rally or a protest. Let's call it a protest. That one was a protest. where he shot 2 people in Kenosha, and he was found not guilty. Um, you see it both ways. The trials are now going on. The results are now coming in. We have the CRT conversation now going on. We are now at the results stage of we swung one way in 2020. We swung one way back in 2021. Where are we going to swing now going forward? I'm not a big year-over-year guy where we're like, oh, 2022 is going to be so different. Like it's going to be something vastly different. But what we are at is what's going to go on going forward. Are we going to continue to get a pushback for the gains that were made in 2020? Or are we going to be able to continue the conversation? Like as we say here at Impact 2021, are we going to be able to continue the conversation and continue to try to push for better relationships, better race relationships, safer interactions with the police? Are we going to be able to continue the advancement of feeling more so as a Black man, Black woman, Black child, Black adults, that we feel safe in our own country? And so that's where we are. That's where we are. And so, and then we move from a Christian standpoint, and because we've talked about this over the course of the year, of our role and responsibility in assisting in that race conversation, and especially from a Black church standpoint to the Black community, is what is the role and responsibility? And the conclusion that we've come to over this time is that one of the responsibilities that the Black church has, one of the ultimate responsibilities, is to be an educator and a leader of people, as far as, hey, it's not the school's responsibility to teach history, full history. It's not the school's responsibility to teach Black history. It is the role of parents and the Black church to teach the Black community Black history. And so when the conversation and the debate goes on about what the school should or should not be teaching, it really shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, the history, the specific history that goes to certain populations always gets taught by those populations. When you look at other countries, or other cultures within our country, they teach their own people what they should be taught. And when you have immigrants that come from different countries, they're not looking for the school system to teach them about their immigrant history. You pass that information down. And so that's where the Black church is, or that's where the church is in general, is that it's our responsibility to make sure that we teach the history that needs to be taught to our people. And how do we go about doing that into the broader sense of not just the people who are in the building or in the church building, but also outside of it? And so that's where we are. That's basically what it is. To wrap up our year and what we've done with our year in a nutshell. And so looking forward for us for this program, we're going into 2022, and hopefully we will be able to continue to have these conversations, continue to bring you good guests who will be able to give the opinions and be able to move the conversation forward. What we don't want to do is just be here just talking just to talk. We want to be able to talk for some action and talk for some change, and talk whether the change is with the individuals who are here talking on the program, or whether it is with those who view the program. We want to make sure that there is some change and some advancement of the conversation. And so that's what we're going to continue to do and strive to do. Thank you for joining us all year long, and hopefully you continue and join us going into the next year. And that's it. Just kind of a wrap up of the year. And again, I thank you for joining us on this journey and this conversation, and continue to have this conversation. Make sure that you continue to type into the comment section, because again, the conversation continues even after the show is off. All right. My name is Nathaniel. This is Impact 2021. Have a good one. Enjoy.